Hi, my name is Amy Fulgham. Thank you for joining me for this beginner's Vinyasa Yoga class with a concentration on standing poses. So if you look up beginner's mind yoga, if you Google it, there are many articles about this subject, and almost every one of them has this same quote. It's by Shunya Suzuki Roshi. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the experts, there are few. And that quote is, it's good to approach your yoga practice with the beginner's mind so that you don't have preconceptions of how something is going to go. Because when you do, you stop listening, you stop tuning in with your body, you start learning new things. So it's great that you're a beginner, and I hope you get a lot out of this class. There are so many benefits to yoga, but you need to discover what is the benefit for you. Is it physical? Is it strength? Is it flexibility? Does it help with your functional mobility? Maybe it is peace of mind. Maybe it helps you sleep at night. There are so many benefits, and if you stick with it, you'll find what works, and you'll find why you need to keep coming back to the yoga mat. So take an easy seat. Just sit cross-legged on the floor. Bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes and join me for one round of Om. Inhale. Om. Namaste. I would recommend, if you were just starting yoga, that you have yoga blocks. Or maybe if you're at home and you're starting, you don't have yoga blocks yet, you can use books, copy of War and Peace, two books that are about the same size. And bring those blocks to the front of your mat on either side. And we're going to start in child's pose. There are a couple of different variations of child's pose, and you can play around to see what feels best for you. You can have your knees together. You're sitting on your feet. You can have your knees apart with your feet touching in the back. Just play around with both of those and see what works. Once you have your knees in place, walk your hands forward. And see if you can bring your forehead to the mat while keeping your rear sitting on your feet. And take a deep breath here in this pose. We're going to play around with some variations and start to warm up a little bit. So walk your hands over to the right, keeping your rear on your heels. And see if you can feel that stretch in your left side body. And you may be able to bring your head back down to the floor and take a deep breath. Walk your hands through the center and over to the left, stretching out in front of you. Bring your head down to the floor. Take a deep breath. Child's pose is a good resting pose. So if you find throughout the class that you're overheated or you can't catch your breath, maybe you're having a lot of discomfort in your arms or your legs, and you can take a moment's rest by coming back to child's pose. Now come up to tabletop. So your hands are on the floor, flat on the floor. You're pressing down into your palm and all 10 fingers. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Now it's important to have the eye of your elbows facing forward. Now bring your knees underneath your hips. And your back should be neutral. So it's not round either direction, just neutral and flat. Tabletop. And we're going to stretch our right leg back. Now your toes are on the floor. Start warming up that ankle so you can move forward and back. Get a little stretch in that ankle. And switch legs. Warming up your left ankle. And bring your left knee back to the floor. And go ahead and bring your body up, sitting on your heels. We're going to do a little bit of a wrist stretch. So bring your hands together like this. And you're going to make circle 8s with your wrists. It's good to warm your wrists up at the beginning of a yoga class. And this will help you with functional mobility as well. And if you continue with yoga, you will find that your wrists will get stronger. Shake that out. All right, just come up and stand at the front of your mat. We're going to take mountain pose. So your legs can be either hips width distance apart, or they can be together. Either one is fine. See what works for you. Your abdominals are engaged. They're not sucked in, but they're not just hanging out either. They're engaged. You're breathing, continuing to breathe. Breathing is very important in yoga. Your shoulders, make sure your shoulders, just roll your shoulders front and back. Bring your shoulders to a neutral, relaxed position. So they're not caving in the front, but they're also not squeezing together in the back. They are just relaxed and not up towards your ears either. Just relaxed and neutral. Your arms are by your side. You can either have your palms facing forward or palms facing the legs. Now as you stand here, you're looking straight ahead. So your chin is parallel to the floor, and your eyes are just looking straight forward. And see if you can feel all 4 corners of both feet rooting down into the floor. Just find that position here. So you're engaging your feet, you're engaging your legs, and you continue to breathe while looking forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, shoulders relaxed, and just tilt your head up to look between your hands. Exhale, your arms are coming back down by the sides and to the floor. Now this is where you might need your blocks. So it might be possible to put your hands flat on the floor, either with your knees bent a little bit or straight. If that is not possible, you will need to find your blocks or your books if you don't have blocks. Let's see, facing like this. And your hands should be rooted either to the blocks or to the floor. And it's all right to have your knees bent a little bit if you need to. We will be starting to warm up those hamstrings. Your next inhale, step your right leg back to a lunge. Looking forward. The eyes of your elbows are also facing forward. Your next exhale, bring the left foot back to downward facing dog. A downward facing dog is a key asana or pose in yoga. Your feet are hips width distance apart, and you're creating an L shape with your arms and your legs. Your ears should be between your arms here, so like this. And your tailbone is not tucked, it's pulled up. And try to get your legs straight, but if you need to bend them, that's fine too. And just breathe here in the pose. Inhale, roll forward to plank. So plank, you're looking just a little forward. Your legs are straight. Your arms are straight. And then we're going to lower all the way to the floor. Between your hands here. And then we're going to move up into Cobra Pose. So your hands are firmly rooted to the floor or your blocks. Your all 10 toes are on the floor. Your legs are engaged. Your butt is engaged a little bit too. And you have a little bit of a back bend here. And you're looking straight ahead. And then you're tucking your toes, moving back to your heels, and straighten your legs again. Inhale, your right foot comes forward between your hands. Exhale, your left foot comes to meet the right. Inhale, flat back again. It's all right to have your knees bent if you need to. Exhale, fold forward. And then we'll start again on the left side. Inhale, raise your arms all the way up to the ceiling and look between your hands. Exhale, dive forward to this pose here. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, your left leg comes back to that low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. The right foot comes back and your heels are reaching to the floor. Now it is all right if your heels don't reach the floor. It's fine to have them up like this, but you're actively reaching toward the floor. Your tailbone, your sits bones are pulled up. And your head is between your arms and you're either looking down to the floor, maybe up between your hands a little bit, or if it's comfortable, you can look back towards your belly button. Inhale, roll forward to a plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Now make sure on that lower that your elbows come right to the side of your body, not out. They're to the side of the body and pulled back. So your elbows are now facing, reaching toward the ceiling. And your head comes down to the floor. Feet flat on the floor. Into Cobra Pose, that little back bend we did. Tuck your toes. Push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg comes front. Exhale, the right foot comes forward to meet the left. Inhale, look up. And exhale, forward fold. And we'll do all that again. Inhale, arms come above the head. Look between your hands. Exhale, dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, the right leg comes back to a low lunge, looking up. Exhale, the left leg comes back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, look up for Cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes. Move back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the right foot comes forward between your hands, looking up. Exhale, the left foot comes forward to meet the right. Inhale, look up. Exhale, dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, arms reach up to the ceiling, looking between your hands. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, the left foot comes back to that low lunge, looking forward. Exhale, the right foot comes back to your downward dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Feet flat on the floor. Inhale, look up for Cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Your seat comes back to your heels. Your legs straighten for downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot comes between your hands, looking up. Exhale, your right foot comes to meet the left. Inhale, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come above your head. And exhale, arms come back down to mountain pose. That's our beginner's sun salutation. We'll move into the next sequence then. Inhale, your arms come up above your head, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg comes back to low lunge. Exhale, left leg comes back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, your right leg comes forward between your hands, going into warrior two. Your left heel comes to the floor. Now the heel of your right foot should make a line to the instep of your back foot. Raise your arms up and then settle into warrior two. So warrior two, we'll start on the right foot. The right foot is facing forward. Your knee is over the foot. Your knee is facing forward. Your left leg is back. Try to tuck your tailbone so your pelvis is not out like this, but tucked in. Your abs are engaged. Your right arm is over your right leg. Your left arm is to the back. And you are looking over your right arm. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower into the pose. So eventually you want to get where your right leg is, your thigh is parallel to the floor. But just do the best you can. Take another breath here. Extended side angle. Bring your right elbow to your right knee, to the thigh. Your left arm will swing in front of your body and above you so you can look up at your hand. Your back leg is straight. Your shoulder is not sinking down, but you're pushing against that leg and rising up out of that shoulder. Your heart center is open to this side of the mat. And if possible, look up at the hand. It was also okay to look forward is not there yet, you can look down at your right foot. And take a breath here. This is the extended side angle. Inhale, you're going to rise up, straighten your right leg. And exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel the hands. So the left arm comes over your head. Those arms come down to your blocks. Your left heel comes up. And we're going to move the right foot back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, warrior two on the left side. So your left foot comes forward between your hands. Your left foot comes, heel comes put to the floor. Your arms rise up. And then into your warrior two arms. Bending that front knee so that it's over the front foot. And check your alignment here. Is your left foot pointing straight forward? Is your knee pointing straight forward and over the foot? Is your pelvic girdle tucked here? Your abs are engaged. Your body is straight up and down. Your shoulders are relaxed. They're not pinched together or up high or folded forward like this. They're just neutral and engaged but relaxed. And when your left arm is forward over your left leg and your right arm is back. And just take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. You might be able to sink a little lower into the pose. Inhale. We're going into our extended side angle. So our left elbow is coming down to the thigh. Right arm is above the head. Your tailbone is tucked. Your right leg is straight. And if possible, you're looking up at your hand. Make sure that you are rising up out of this arm here, the shoulder. You're not sinking down like this. You are using the arm to straighten your body here. Your chest is wide open to the right side now, and your arm is the head above your head. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, rise up, and exhale back to our warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel the hands. Your right heel comes up. Exhale, back to downward facing dog, and take a breath here. I'm going to add on another step this time. Inhale, your right foot comes between your hands. Exhale, rise up for warrior two. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, tucking your tailbone, and exhale, sinking a little deeper into the pose. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, in the pose. Now we're going to go into wide-legged standing forward fold. So your left arm is going to go down. You might want to grab your blocks. And you're going to move your body over to the left side of the mat. Your feet should be parallel. And your arms are right below, your hands are right below your shoulders for our wide-legged standing forward fold. Now you may be able to bring your head lower. Or this may be all the challenge that you need today. And just breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to walk our hands to the back of the mat with our blocks here into this low lunge. And then downward dog on this side. The left leg comes back to downward dog. And take a breath here. Now we're going to do the left side. We're facing the back of the mat now, but we're still going to do the left side. So inhale, the left foot comes between your hands. The right foot, heel comes to the floor. Bring your arms up for warrior two. Take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. Sink a little lower to the pose. Inhale, extended side angle. Your left elbow is coming down to your left thigh. Your right arm is above your head. Your tailbone is tucked. Rising up out of that left shoulder and looking up at the hand. Take a deep breath. Wide-legged standing forward fold. You're going to grab your blocks. Walk over to the right side of the mat. Well, it's our right side now. Your feet are parallel. And we're going to breathe here in our wide-legged standing forward fold. Take a deep breath. Walk the hands to the front of the mat. Your right foot is front, your left foot is back for that lunge again, low lunge. And then downward facing dog. Your right leg comes back to our downward dog here. Take a deep breath. And we're just going to walk our feet forward here, between your hands. Lift your arms up above your head. And dive into that forward fold. Use your blocks if you need to. Bend your knees if you need to. And relax your head. And we're going to go into our chair pose. So your toes and your feet are together. The heels and the toes are together. You're going to bend your knees. Your torso lifts up. And your arms come above your head. Now, you should think about pulling in your abdomen here so that you can hold this pose. This is a challenging pose. Try to think about your shoulders reaching down your back. They're not like this. Your back should be straight. Your arms aren't pinched together either. They're just firm in a neutral position. You're looking up a little bit between your hands. This is our chair pose. Bring your hands to prayer position. And we're going to do a twist to the right. So keeping your knees bent, twist over to the right. Take a deep breath. Inhale back to the center. Take a deep breath. Twist to the left. Your knees are still pointing forward, even though your body is twisted to the left. And come back to the forward. Straighten down into that forward fold again. Your arms lift up to the ceiling. And then back down to mountain. Straight ahead. And we're going to move on to just a few things on the mats. Just come down to your mat again. Let's take a child's pose for just a moment. I'm going to put my knees wide, bring my arms in front here, and just take a breath. Walk your hands back up. We're going to take, for our inversion today, we're going to take a rabbit pose. So bring your knees back together, still sitting on your heels. See if you can bring your hands to your heels. And the top of your head is just going to come down to the floor in front of your knees. Let's see if you can move forward just a little bit so that the top of the head is on the floor. And breathe deeply here. And lift up. And come down all the way. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And we're just going to roll all the way down to the mat. We're going to try a little bit of a back bend here. So try to get your heels close to your rear. Your hands are reaching down towards your heels, or you can use your hands to grab the sides of your mat. And think about just tucking your tailbone so that it lifts up a little bit. And then release that so your back is flat. And try that again. Tuck the tailbone, lifting the lower part of your spine. And relax. Inhale again, tuck your tailbone. And then go up a little higher. So you can find that bridge pose. Coming up a little higher. Make sure your knees are still pointing towards the front. Your hands can be pulling the mat apart so that you're resting on your shoulders here. And your buttocks is engaged. And roll back down. And finally, let that tailbone go. Try that again. Inhale, tuck your tailbone, lift the lower, middle, and upper back. Now, if possible, you can tuck your shoulders underneath so that your shoulder blades are moving towards each other, and you can clasp your hands underneath. And you're pushing your thighs up towards the ceiling, and your hips are reaching up towards the ceiling, and you're looking up there as well. And take a deep breath. And inhale one more time. And exhale, your shoulders come apart, your hands come apart, and roll all the way down. Now cross your feet and just come up. So you're sitting here. Reach your feet out, your legs out straight in front of you. Flex your feet. Now we're going to hold this pose here, staff pose. So try to push your hands against the floor and then just walk your hands forward. Keeping your back straight, hinging at the hips. Just walking your hands forward as far as you can go without rounding your back. So if this is a challenge for you here, just stay right here. You may be able to go a little further, reaching towards your feet. Just keep your back straight, don't hunch your shoulders, keep them relaxed as well. You may be able to grab your big toes in yogi toe lock. And just breathe here. Each breath, each exhale, you may be able to go a little further towards your feet. Inhale, roll up. And then exhale, we're going to roll all the way down to Shavasana, corpse pose. So your legs are straightened out. Your body is flat on the floor. Let go of any labored breathing and just relax here. Totally on the floor. Close your eyes. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a relaxation exercise. So, squat your feet and relax them. Tighten your legs, your buttocks, and relax. Tighten your abdominals and relax. Tighten your hands and arms, shoulders, and relax. Relax your head. Close your eyes and surrender to the earth for corpse pose. And you can stay here as long as you have time, or you may want to take a bit of a meditation at this point. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Under the Same Moon Beginners Vinyasa Yoga class.